Thing is so blown out. We have so many bubbles, so inflated, so overvalued. Nobody knows what anything is really worth right now. That's why we need it to crash. Please stay tuned to the entirety of this video. Sid and I, just the other day, went and visited this new ice arena that is being built right out here in the middle of the desert, over $250 million. And then from there, we visit a brand new housing development being built where the homes are selling between $600,000 and $700,000+. And all this taking place during this recession, and I firmly do believe we are heading towards a depression. So $250 million ice arenas being built, $600,000 and $700,000 homes being built. Like there's just no fear whatsoever. So stay tuned. We're going to walk through this for you so you can see it with your own two eyes, what's happening in the real economy. Before we continue with the video, there's talk today that we're going to end these tariffs with China. This is not going to really make any difference for the average American, but it is going to make China extremely wealthier than they are now. This will really benefit China. It's not really going to benefit us. If we're going to blame inflation now on tariffs, think about when those tariffs went into effect. Maybe 3 years ago, we didn't have this inflation 3 years ago. Now all of a sudden, we're blaming every other entity for inflation other than the real cause, which is money printing. So we're going to blame tariffs, we're going to blame gas station owners, we're going to blame truck drivers, we're going to blame small business owners. This is who we're blaming for inflation. So if we end the tariffs with China, this is going to do literally nothing for the average consumer, but it is going to do wonders for China. Just incredible. Also, as we're going through today's video and bringing you clips of more of these housing developments, I don't know who's going to buy these houses. There was an article in the Wall Street Journal, and I'll end with this. So stay tuned, watch the entirety of this video. I've got some really interesting clips here where Sid and I are going to the ice arena, the new home construction sites. But as I leave you right now, Wall Street Journal, Joshua Tree, once quiet and quirky, is California's hottest real estate market. This is a market years ago that literally people looked at as a cesspool. Nobody ever wanted to go there. Nobody wanted to drive through it. It's in the middle of nowhere in the desert. And now Joshua Tree prices have like literally doubled, and people are flocking to it, buying up properties to rent out as Airbnb properties so people can go out there and see the stars in the middle of the desert. And again, this is where we're at. Disneyland, building Fantasyland out here in the desert, ice arenas, new home construction everywhere, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, nothing to it. And now we're looking at prices doubling in Joshua Tree. Once a cesspool, nothing against Joshua Tree. I love the desert. But people literally did everything to avoid it, stay away from it, would never, ever invest a dime out there. And now people are so desperate to make money, so desperate to gamble, that now they're selling this lifestyle in the desert, in the middle of nowhere, that you can go out there and see the stars. So you can now pay $500,000 and buy a dump and rent it out to somebody from Los Angeles so they can have this, kind of crazy lifestyle out there, looking at the stars, smoking weed, and listen to music. Incredible. Question is, how long does this last? How long does this continue to go on before it no longer goes on? The ice arenas, Disneyland, homes at $500,000 in Joshua Tree so people can go out there and look at the stars while they smoke their marijuana. How long does this continue? These people who bought properties just as Airbnbs to buy homes to rent out as hotels, these people are walking on thin ice right now. I don't know exactly what the Fed did today or what they said to cool things down, or what their plan is in the future. They are saying that it is very probable that we're going to see a 75 basis point rate hike in July. Ladies and gentlemen, you talk about uncertainty, you talk about unknown, you talk about risk out there, this is it. Watch the rest of this video. Absolutely crazy, crazy times. Joshua Tree homes selling for double than what they were a couple years ago. Absolutely crazy. But this is the craziness we saw in 2008. It's gotten even crazier. And that's why this crash is going to be much worse. Watch the rest of this video. So as we're just driving up the road here, I wanted to show everybody this new structure being built. A company called Acrisure, a Michigan-based insurance company, is spending $250 million building this. This is a ice arena for a semi-pro team that's coming to the Palm Desert area here. And just look at the size of this. It's enormous.
And the name of the team is the Firebirds.
Just enormous. $250 million. Sid, the name of the team?
The name of the team is called the Firebirds Ice Hockey Semi-Pro Team.
So, comment down below. This is an awful lot of money to be spending in a recession. I mean, they started this probably about a year ago, 6 months, 8 months, whatever it was. They're putting it up really, really fast. But it started sometime last year. How does a semi-pro hockey team do out here in the valley? Maybe it'll be, you know, maybe it's going to make a ton of money. Maybe it'll be a gigantic attraction. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm not a big hockey fan, nothing against hockey, but a semi-pro hockey team in the middle of the desert, $250 million for this. I don't know. Comment down below. Does this end bad? Does a semi-pro hockey team here in the middle of the desert survive? Sid?
You know, nothing against sports. I do love sports. In fact, I wanted to bring up to everyone that I was at a baseball game over the weekend, this 4th of July weekend, and noticed that it was all cashless.
Dodger Stadium.
This is at Los Angeles Dodger Stadium. That everything was cashless, and which made me feel like I wanted to use some cash because I wanted to, you know, spend some cash that I had withdrawn from an ATM, and I was unable to use that cash. You know, so then I started thinking, you know,
why were you unable to use it?
I was unable to use it because it was credit or debit only. And since I was unable to use my cash, I felt powerless, like as if they took something from me because I didn't want to resort to using my credit card because that's my credit. And, you know, I didn't want to use my debit card because I didn't want the funds withdrawn from my bank. So, you know, this is an attack on your cash because you're unable to use your cash while it's in your wallet, it's in your hands, it's in your pocket. And I just wanted to bring that up to everybody. You know, is this going to be another one of those facilities, you know, that you're going to come to a place like this and you can't use your cash, making you feel like
powerless,
worthless, like you have no control of how to spend your own money.
Yeah, that's a great point. And it's happening in so many places. And to me, I'm doing everything I can to get out of the system. That's why I don't keep a lot of cash in the bank. If you want to weaken the banks, buy gold, buy silver, and don't keep all your cash in the banks. They want you to go to plastic. They want you to go to a Fed coin. They want to be able to track every dollar, every penny you spend. And if we continue to cooperate and go along with this, this is going to be a totally different world where they're going to know everything about you, where all your money is, what you're spending it on, who you're paying, what you're paying, how much you're paying. You pay the babysitter $20. You pay the landscaper an extra $20. You pay the pool cleaner an extra $20. They know what you're doing. They know how much you paid. They know who you're paying. And I think that's a really dangerous world, a very controlled world. And that means that if they don't like who you're paying or what you're paying, they can shut your account down. They can lock you out. They can lock you down. And we're seeing this now with the dollar and what's happening around the world, that if you don't play ball, that they don't allow you to pay your debts. They don't allow you
to get your money out of your accounts. They don't allow you to sell things in dollars. You can't even pay your debts back in dollars if you don't play ball. And the world's seeing that, and I believe that's why the world is going to eventually get out of the dollar and go to something else, more specifically, something backed by gold. And so more of this nonsense where we're seeing this control and weaponization of the US dollar means you should be holding something other than dollars, maybe some gold, maybe some silver, maybe getting your debts paid off with this monopoly money. At some point, when we have this real estate crash, maybe it's a good idea to unload these monopoly money dollars into some real estate. So this, as Sid is saying, is another reason why eventually it's going to probably be a good thing for most people to be out of the dollars and be holding minimal amounts of dollars, because they've been weaponized, they're being controlled, the dollar continues to lose its purchasing power, and the world sees exactly the massive money printing, the control, the manipulation, and the weaponization of the US dollar. And it is going to promote countries around the world like the BRICS nations and so many more to get out of the US dollar, because they don't want to be controlled by this system, a system that's going to be, you know, backed by the dollar, but it's going to be electronic, right? So they can track all your dollars. Yeah, it's going to end, I think, creating other options backed by gold. And it's another reason why we got to get out of the system and use the system as little as possible. Keep as little amount of money in the bank, keep enough to pay the bills. Is your money safer under your mattress than it is in a bank right now? I would say yes. Some people say, well, you can't keep all your money under your mattress, keep it in the bank. I don't know. What do you think is safer? Is keeping your money somewhere in your home, somewhere in another location, somewhere in a quality safe, a vault, or is it safer in a bank where the cartel can literally just press a button and take it, or tell you you can't have access to it, or tell you that you have to spend it on something or we're going to take it? There's just too much control now that the system has in regards to your money. And I believe the only way to get out of that is to get your money out of the system and make them as powerless as possible. If everybody keeps their assets and money in the system, they have a lot of power. If people become their own central banks and hold their own assets and their own cash, then they're going to have, in my opinion, more purchasing power, more control, and more power.
Oh, you hit it on the nose. Definitely, you know, a facility like this, you know, is definitely going to be built to be cashless, and that's going to take away your buying power, your purchasing power, because these buildings are being built by not taking your cash, but by debit and credit only.
So as we just walk, this place is enormous, but I got to think, does this place even exist 5 years from now? We are heading into the worst economy the U.S. has ever seen. We're in a recession right now, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're in the beginning stages of depression, and they are building ice rinks, ice arenas here in the desert. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Does this place survive? Do people have the money? I don't know. What are they going to charge? $25, $50, $100 for a ticket here? Do people have the disposable income now to come to an ice arena and watch a semi-pro hockey team play hockey? I don't know. I think it's going to get more and more difficult to fill the seats in a lot of these sporting events because they're so costly. What's the overhead going to be? Where's the water all coming for a facility like this? I'm being told that I shouldn't water my grass, I should take a shorter shower, yet we got this massive ice arena that's gonna depend on a lot of water. We got Disneyland on the other side of the freeway here, maybe 3 miles away, with a 26-acre lagoon being built, 450 room resort, nearly 2,000 homes, golf course, shopping. It's gonna be very dependent on a lot of water. Where's that water coming from? They're telling you and I to conserve. Don't wash your car. Don't take a long shower. Don't water your grass. But Disneyland's coming. Going to build a huge lake out here, and I'm sure that this is going to consume a lot of water. And Sid said, water. We're talking about the new water park.
Oh, exactly. You know, and that Disneyland being built, you know, it's going to have so many water features, pools, lakes, etc. You know, where is all this
What
water?
about the new water park they're talking about?
Yeah, there's one also in Thermal that they're talking about. It's still on hold, and nothing's set in concrete yet on that.
But to even be talking about this massive water shortage, you all see the videos at Lake Mead. It is down like over 50 feet. It's incredible. And, you know, we depend on electricity from Lake Mead. Las Vegas gets 23% of its electricity from Lake Mead, and the water is disappearing. And yet we're building all this. I don't know where the water is going to come from. People write to me all the time, where's the water going to come from? I don't know. But there goes some new repos right there down the road. Truckload of repos going to the auto auction in Riverside, I guarantee it. But where's it all going to come from? And who's going to pay for the tickets to come to this ice arena to watch a hockey game? I don't know. I just wanted to pull over, show this to you, and real quick, I'll show you some more of the property. I mean, it's huge. On to the next. As we're cruising through Palm Desert on this beautiful 4th of July weekend, absolutely gorgeous today. I don't even think we're at 100 yet, so the weather's holding. But we just passed this Lennar project right now, and I don't have to tell you how bad the building stocks are doing, but check this out. It is a pretty large project. And as I've said many times, the problem now is that inventory is coming. Inventory is starting to surge on the housing market, or in the housing market. And so the average Joe who's putting his or her home on the market today is going to have to compete against the 1.8 million new homes being built right now here in the US. And here's a few of them right here. We're just going to cruise through here as we're just making some stops today and doing a little filming this weekend. But here's your competition. If you're thinking about selling your house, here's what's going on. There is inventory. It is coming. These houses right here, I would estimate, will be between probably 600,000 and 700,000, maybe a little less, maybe a little bit more. But they are going to be coming to the market. This is what's coming. By the end of this summer, these homes will all be done. By the end of this summer. And so this is why I believe there is no doubt in my mind we are going to see a big crash in the housing market. Mortgage rates have doubled. They're going to continue to go up. Building costs, building material, the shipping crisis, this shipping disruption taking place, the amount of qualified buyers, the layoffs that are coming, fuel costs, inflation costs, defaults, and people who are going to be forced into foreclosure. All of this is going to have a huge impact in this housing market. And these builders, I think, in my opinion, have completely overbuilt once again as we head into a depression. We're in a recession. I've never really heard of a strong housing market during a recession, let alone a depression, as we are going to continue to raise rates. July 27th, we're looking at probably, I'm going to say we may see a 75 basis point rate hike in July 27th. What do you think that that's going to do to this? You think that another rate hike is going to be good for this? And you have the most overvalued home market of all time. Sid, what do you say when you see something like this?
You know, my forecast, when I see something like this, is troubling because, you know, you got people getting laid off from work, losing jobs. You got the highest real estate market of all time, like you just said. People will not be able to afford a place like this, you know, at 600,000 to 700,000 K.
And how close are these houses, Sid?
You know,
why don't you show them?
If you really look how close, I mean, I'd say maybe 7 feet. 7 feet is separating them. That's, I mean,
it's incredible.
That's insane.
Yeah, this really is. I mean, literally, you could reach out and shake your neighbor's hand. These homes are so close. I mean,
6.5 right here.
I mean, maybe 10 feet. Maybe 10 feet. I'm going to go 10 feet. I mean, but it is not much at all. And you're paying $600,000 to $700,000 for this stuff.
Insane.
And I mean, we're just driving around today, and we just saw this one. I haven't seen this one before. It's a Lennar project, and you know, another thing is too, and this is no attack on any builder or anybody, but a lot of people, I've watched a lot of other videos that are going through some of these housing communities that are being built, and I've read the comments. And I'm not a builder, I'm not in the construction business, but people have really commented on how cheaply built the homes today are being put up. They're being put up so fast and so cheap. And you have to think with the astronomical housing cost of material that somebody's probably, I'm not saying Lennar, I'm sure they build a nice home, but somebody out there is cutting housing costs. And I think a majority of builders probably are cutting corners somewhere to make up the difference. But just some of the videos I've watched and people just pointing out how cheap these homes are being put up and how quick they are, that these are not the homes that were built decades ago. They're just not the same quality. But here, more lots here. I mean,
you talk about a home loan, who's going to qualify, you know, they might go 40 years, you know, just to be able to qualify for a nice home, you know.
Well, I know a lot of people talking 40, 50-year mortgages. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that's just a fallacy. Don't think it's going to happen. But right now it's 30 years and you're looking at 6%, and that's 6% if you have excellent credit, if you have 20% down. If you don't, this home is going to cost you minimally 7% on a 30-year, and you're probably going to have to put anywhere from 3 to 5% down, carry PMI. It's going to be expensive, no doubt about it. So I don't know. I don't know too many people right now today in this environment that can buy a home like this between $600,000 and $700,000, furnish it, pay a $712 on average new car payment. I mean, that's another thing too. $7, $6 for gas, $600, $700 car payment. You got to go to the grocery store and eat, and then you're going to have what, a $3,000 or $4,000, $5,000 house payment. I mean, who in the world can do this? I mean, think about this. I mean, of course, this place will probably have an HOA too, which will be $500 or $600. You've got insurance, you've got upkeep, you've got maintenance. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, how people are doing this. Comment down below. Maybe you have the answer. How are people doing this? I have no idea. But every day, it's like new houses are being built. We've got ice arenas being built. We got Disneyland out here building houses. They're going to build nearly 2,000 homes. Who is going to buy up all this stuff? I know BlackRock is going to buy every house in the world. That's just fantasy. BlackRock and Blackstone better be they're going to get themselves in very, very big trouble, because when they don't have renters to rent those homes, and they've overpaid on so much of that real estate, and they're so responsible for creating a lot of this bubble. These too big to fails somehow always land up finding a way to fail, and always find a way for some kind of government bailout that you and I pay for. I don't know, but you have to understand, they cannot buy every home in America, okay? 90%, 85, 90% of these homes require a mortgage. BlackRock, Blackstone, they borrow money too, and rates are going up. So they're going to be less enthused or motivated to get into this market, having to pay more to borrow money, right? And they've got to be feeling a little bit of pain now, because renters don't have $2,000 and $3,000 a month. And again, something is going to break. Something must give, something must break, because I think we're at very close to a breaking point right now with the car payments, the high rent,
the
high
interest rate.
the high cost of a mortgage because of the interest rate now, and they're going higher. I think that something is going to break here very, very soon. And when it does, these big companies that help create this bubble, they're going to get themselves into very, very big trouble. And what happens when the market crashes and these homes are selling for 30, 40, 50, 60% off? And BlackRock bought at the height of the bubble, and they're charging at the height of the bubble for rent. I buy a house here for 50% off and I rent it for half. And now retail investors like myself can come in and buy these houses cheap, rent them for a lot less than BlackRock and Blackstone. That becomes serious competition to those companies. But I think that, you know, they've really got to watch their bottom line here, because they have overpaid in an overvalued market. And anybody that thinks they're too big to fail, they don't understand the economy and they don't understand history. And this is why I think it's another good reason for this all to reset, for it to collapse, because of these companies like BlackRock and Blackstone, who helped create this bubble by borrowing extremely cheap money, much cheaper than you and I could borrow money for, come in and compete against the retail investor. And we see all this institutional money in the housing market. I think companies like that need to crash. I think they just need to go away. I think it should be completely illegal that institutional money comes in and competes against the retail investor, creating these bubbles. But I think a crash, it needs to happen, and I think companies like that need to crash and be eliminated, just taken out. I really, really do. Now, will that happen? Probably not. Could it happen? Yeah, it could. But they borrowed so much money and have overpaid in such an overvalued stock market, but a real estate market, that they should really pay a price. When this thing collapses, corrects, I think companies like that should just go completely out of business for the bad investments that they made. You know, paying $50,000 or $100,000 over listing price, coming into a development like this and buying the whole entire thing overpriced, just coming in and say, we'll buy all your houses, you know, at 20% over. I just think that that's recklessness, and I think it did so much damage to the average American, to the average retail buyer, and I think that they should pay a price for that. I really, really do. Will they? I have no idea. Should they? Absolutely. And that's why I think a collapse is good, because we need to get back to a fair market value. What is the real market price of these homes, of stocks, of bonds? Nobody knows. Everything is so blown out. We have so many bubbles, so inflated, so overvalued. Nobody knows what anything is really worth right now. That's why we need it to crash. And people are going to get hurt. But I never asked anybody to buy in an overvalued market. I didn't promote buying into a Ponzi scheme. I didn't promote buying into an illusion. And people in their greed got into this, and they didn't really care why the market was going up. Didn't need any fundamentals. It just needed greed. It needed BlackRocks and Blackstones. It needed cheap money. It needed 0% interest rates. And here we are. I don't promote fraudulent criminal markets. I want a free market. We need these markets to crash, to come back to earth. So it's more of a level playing field, so that we know the real true value of these assets, what the price of this home is really worth. And we need institutional money to get out of the retail market, because it is completely unfair. It is creating massive bubbles, and you can blame a lot of these institutions and that top 1% for creating the collapse that we're about to see. And it's going to be the 1% that ride off into the sunset and leave the 99% holding the bag. So we just came to the other side of the development here, and these are duplexes. And Sid, what do you think?
You know, it's definitely not a. We're at a crossroads, and it's definitely not a buyer nor a seller's market right now, with obvious costs of building a home or owning a home or selling a home. I can recall, you know, hopefully we will have a buyer's market again, but I can recall buying my first home back in 1998, and when I bought that home, it was in La Quinta Cove area. And I paid about $100,000 for it. You know, my mortgage was, you know, $800 a month. You know, that's $100,000 at $800 a month. You do the math at $600,000 to $700,000 how much is that going to be a month?
Yeah, that's
30-year loan. So
yeah, but it was a higher rate, but yeah, the rate's now breaking 6%. So yeah, we're going to be right there and going to 7%. So yeah, it's going to be very, very costly. And I think, as you do, that's why we will see a buyer's market coming.
And we need that to happen. You know, we do need things to finally break down and collapse. And as you say, you know, the bubble needs to burst. And we're at a crossroads right now. No other way to put it. You know, it's something's got to give, something's got to break. We're like at a point of no return.
Yeah, and this is, you know, my reasoning to get your credit in shape, pay off all your debts, and start saving up a lot of cash. Because if you want to capitalize on this next housing market crash, this is probably going to be a once in a lifetime event. We'll probably never ever see what we're going to see again in our lifetime. If you want to take advantage of it, if you want to be a player in the game, you better be stacking up a lot of cash right now, and you better get your credit in order and exercise patience right now. A lot of people getting complacent. A lot of people still have FOMO. A lot of people are impatient. They want something to happen right now. It doesn't work that way. This is a chess match now. This is a game of patience, and this is giving you time right now to get all your ducks in a row and prepare for big sales.